If you filed an extension last spring seeking more time to file your taxes, it's almost time to pay the piper. When you filed IRS Form 4868, which is the application for automatic extension for time to file your return, you were given until October 15th to file your taxes. You were not given an extension of time to pay, just more time to get your paperwork, run to your tax guy, and file the return. But what are your options when you don't have the cash to pay the balance? In this video, I'm going to give you some options when you can't pay your taxes. And if you stick around until the end, I'm going to show you how to determine if you're eligible to get rid of some of your tax debt. All this on the other side of the break.
1-877 Levy-KING, L-E-V-Y Levy-KING, 1-877 Levy-KING, LEVY-KING.com.
What's up, guys? Corey Hankerson here from Legacy Tax, and they call me the Levy King because I have helped thousands of clients with unfiled returns, back taxes, tax liens, and that's right, IRS levies. If the IRS took your check, the Levy King will get it back. 1-877 Levy-KING, LEVY-KING.com. I'm also the author of End the Tax Nightmare, Insider Secrets to Beat the IRS and Reduce Your Tax Debt. Inside the book, I'm going to show you how to stop IRS levies, liens, and garnishments without paying the tax in full, how to set up a payment plan that you want, not the one that they want, and how to potentially settle your tax debt for less than you actually owe. My book has been a top seller on Amazon for years. You can buy it right now for just $19.99, but I want to give you a copy of the book absolutely free. Just go over to my website, www.endthetaxnightmare.com, enter your name and email, and I'll send you a copy right away. No charge. Not even for shipping. It's totally free. Now, before we go any further with the video, I want to take a moment to ask you to subscribe to our channel and smash that like button so you'll be notified each time we drop a new video. Okay, let's dive into today's content. So you're sitting there with that freshly prepared tax return in your hand, and your accountant assures you that he's crunched the numbers backwards and forwards, and you definitely owe thousands of dollars to the IRS. Now, I know the temptation is to simply go home and throw that tax return into a drawer somewhere and forget all about it. But don't do that. File it anyway. My first tip is don't do that. Don't think that if you simply don't file, you won't owe or they won't come after you. Ignoring the problem will only make it worse. Penalties and interest will begin to accrue, which will make your problem go from bad to worse. If you don't understand IRS penalties, check out this video where I break it down. Another issue is that if you don't file, IRS will file a substitute for return, which is going to show a very inflated balance due, which is, again, going from bad to worse. For more information on the substitute for return, or SFR, check out this video that I recently published explaining it. Finally, failing to file your tax return could be considered a crime, whereas failing to pay is not. You definitely don't want those problems. So file your tax return, even though you don't have the money to pay the balance. Another option is to request a short-term payment extension. You can do this on the IRS's website by calling the customer service line after you file your tax return. If your balance is $10,000 or less, including all penalties and interest, the IRS is going to give you 120 days to pay the balance in full. Unlike an actual installment agreement where the IRS charges a setup fee, there's no cost for setting up a short-term payment extension, but interest and penalties will continue to accrue. You're not usually required to provide financial information like you would with an installment agreement. Now, if you need more than 120 days to pay the tax debt, you're going to want to consider an installment agreement. There are many different types of installment agreements, and comparing them all, one to each other is beyond the scope of this video. But just understand that when you call on your own, you're likely to be put into a traditional installment agreement where you pay the entire tax balance in full within the period of time that the IRS has to collect the debt, which is usually 10 years. But when you hire a professional to represent you, he or she may be able to get you an installment agreement where you actually pay less than the amount of the tax debt. An installment agreement will allow you to pay the debt over a long period of years instead of just a couple of months, which allows you a lower monthly payment. You can request an installment agreement by submitting a Form 9465 along with your tax return. The IRS is going to charge a setup fee to establish an installment agreement. You may be may be required to provide financial information such as your income, your bank account info, financial accounts like IRAs, mutual funds, etc. They're going to get all in your business. Now, if you can't afford to pay anything at all, you might be able to get into a hardship status. This one is probably an option for professionals, not necessarily a DIY approach. That's because there are a lot of pitfalls that you want to be able to avoid, and because of the tremendous upside potential if you can get yourself into this program. Once you're placed into hardship status, you'll literally make no payments towards the tax liability whatsoever. And the IRS can't even come after you with levies and garnishments. You can easily see how much of a benefit this is, and that's why I recommend hiring a tax pro for this one. Now, my last one is the offer and compromise. It's also an area where you want to consider hiring or consulting a professional. If you've done any research at all into solving IRS problems, you've definitely heard of the offer and compromise. It's literally on TV and radio all day long. The OIC is an option that allows you to settle your tax debt for less than you actually owe. The specifics of how the program works are too much for this video, but you can check out this video to learn more about the program. This brings me to the bonus offer that I promised near the beginning of this video. If you owe back taxes to the IRS or the state, I want you to know that there are special programs in place to help you get a fresh start and get out from under this tax debt. But how do you know if you qualify? You see, no two cases are exactly alike. So how do you know exactly how much you can settle for? Well, lucky for you, I've created a special tool to help you get qualified for a fresh start. Just head over to my website, www.LEVY-KING.com, or click on the link below, follow the prompts, and answer a few simple questions, and we'll help you figure out your eligibility. That website again is www.LEVY-KING.com, or you can give us a call at 1-877-LEVY-KING. Phone number again, 1-877-LEVY-KING, as you see it on the screen. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
1-877